Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Ooh, new intro. It's new intro smell. Ah, that's right. What are we doing here? That's right. Because every day we have to have our memories reset of our preconceptions to start new. And Beaming Up Badger, the new bullshit show I've come up with, because every single time we talk about aliens, we get super sidetracked. And look at this. Already.
Nice.
69 ABF who's on the panel. Look at you. Man, bear, pig, half man, half bear, half pig.
Adds up.
Shout out.
That original
Tech Rat for that one.
Man, Bear, Pig, one of the best South Park episodes.
First episode of Beaming Up Badger. Thank the Cabal. Those of us that RIP Niat, his computer exploded.
Aliens got it.
He got beamed up first.
I mean, the aliens are doing some stuff down here in the corner of your picture. I love it. So maybe, you know.
I keep looking at him. Is the one on the left smoking?
He is smoking.
Oh,
he's on his break. Yeah.
He's just making sure. He's just the one on the right is it's hot out there. You got to have. It's a thing. God bless my very based AI. Erwin, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us on the first episode. You, above all, I had to have on. You love all of the things about the.
I'm tired of them illegal aliens, but man, they can build pyramids fast.
They have permits and visas.
I mean, they take like a 2-hour. They take like a 2-hour lunch break in the middle of the day. All their wives come. They got like the microwaves out and everything.
Pretty jacked for little green men. Just saying.
But when they get back to work, they build them pyramids fast.
2 weeks.
I did pick them up in front of Home Depot, but that's a separate issue.
Oh no!
Pleasure to be here. Like and subscribe.
You beamed them up from Home Depot. You beamed them up from
Gooch. Yes, Leon, it's very on brand. Thank you. I'm beaming the Gooch up right now. Thank you for joining us. I know you just had your stream.
It's not funny. One night I was walking in the woods and there was a giant light and I got beamed up and I woke up face down, ass up, no pants. That's not funny. That's not funny.
Wow. That was a big ass
light. That clip. Thank you for that clip. Was the Gooch harmed during this experience, or was it your awakening?
So they beamed up.
They took my Gooch.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's a boxer. Those are the memories they implanted. We know what the real brain damage where that came from.
It
was not boxing.
That was the day that he started manscaping because the aliens went to probe him and they went, Jesus Christ!
It's a mess down there. It's a mess down there.
Sent him home.
They kept sliding. Why can we not do this? We keep.
Now he's breaking his memory blockers.
Gooch. Thank you for
happy to be here. Happy to Heber.
Oh, the
Goochinies kicking in nice.
He's breaking the programming.
Yeah. Also was notably dumber after Heber. My grandparents and I had to joke about it. No offense to the good people of Heber, but I do think it's a time suck. You will be dumber when you leave that place. It's true.
I don't know how that's possible. I'm pretty dumb as it is. But
when Gooch gets too close to the truth, the aliens turn out the Goochinies switch on.
That's facts.
Thank you. Humorous. Leon, thank you. You every time I say something that I hear on Rogan, you perk up and go, "Oh, fucking younger dryad." Had to have you here. How you doing, buddy? I know you love this shit like just as much as I do.
I adore this shit. I want to let everybody know that unlike Gooch, I get probed voluntarily. So that's why I had to be here. We talking just cryptids, aliens,
not my Gooch, not my Gooch, by the way.
Spirits, demonology. I'm into all that woo shit. So this is, you have me so very happy, Badger.
Yep. Did it move?
It's been moving on.
That from people. Yes.
Oh god.
That Gooch is not funny, but normal behavior. Yeah. Well,
is woo woo becoming more of a thing, more widespread?
Woo woo is a thing. It's a thing.
Apparently.
I won't lie. I picked it up from Moxie. I'm pretty sure.
Sure, I'll give it. No, whatever. I would say it. Everyone says it. Woo is a thing.
I didn't say it was cancer. I'm just saying it's out there.
Jake Martin for 20. I want to believe. Yeah.
Maybe there's another girl I stream with then.
It's Leon. You're the only woman I stream with. Does
anyone here not able to live long and prosper? Because some weirdos can't do this for some reason. Any weirdos here can't
maybe not this hand, but I can do it with this hand.
Yeah.
Gooch, we need proof where there's about.
Hey, guess what?
Shaming.
I'm not gay. I don't do that shit.
Gooch is the one. Oh man, skill issue sucks.
If we're bringing back bullying, okay, fine. It's about to bully the shit out of Gooch.
Peer pressure works. Yay!
I'll upload a picture later.
That's what the alien said to me.
Oh no.
Spread them.
Peer pressure.
Who is this guy?
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
Thank you, Leon. That actually counted for him too, but also, yeah. Thank you, ABF. I do appreciate you so much. Well,
Come on.
by the way, yeah, I want to believe the poster that Mulder had on his wall in X-Files. I want to believe. Moxie, do you want to believe in the aliens or the fun things? Or you?
I'm afraid to break it to you. I'm the Scully of the group at the moment. So
We need one.
convince me.
Also,
Convince me.
also a red
Scully,
hair.
hot redhead. Yeah, checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to dress in a 90s pantsuit, I will not stop you. I will not stop you. Scully cosplay incoming. Tech Rat, I'll say for you, because I don't know if you have anything special. I'm sure you do. ABF, brother. Thank you. You and I obviously know that Stargate is a documentary for what is actually happening. President Daddy Trump will soon announce that it was real and Jack O'Neill was real and all that. But in the meantime, hi, thanks for joining us. Are you happy to talk about this shit? You have a Zat gun and everything.
Absolutely happy. And I just want to point out that those aliens, they need to make that pyramid much larger for those alien motherships.
Yeah, I feel like that was just like a mini model to then.
I actually
That
think that's
Gould
just like
ship.
their break
Proof of
room. If you
concept.
really look
Yeah.
at it.
Maybe
That-
those are children learning how to
that,
do it.
No, that
Child
pyramid's
labor.
for charging their cell phones.
Which by the way, whole fucking episodes we could do about the ancient pyramids being like a power plant.
So I'm saying
It's fun.
it's a little cell
Nikola
phone brick.
Tesla believed that. Like
Tesla.
he's straight.
Tesla. By the way,
Oh my
Rat,
God.
now I understand why that dude screamed Tesla the
I
way
know.
he did. Because, yeah, once long ago, Rat and I, he had a job where it's not important what the job was.
An employer of mine was driving a van and we were in the back.
Down by the river.
Right?
And he mentioned something, and I said Tesla, like Nikola Tesla, and the dude like lost his shit.
A switch went off for sure.
I'm assuming it's because he knows now that the secret like Illuminati stole Nikola Tesla's idea to have like Wi-Fi power across the internet. We'll talk about that some episode. Or,
After Tesla
across the
died,
earth.
you know who took all of his equipment and stuff?
Edison.
No, Donald Trump's grandfather.
Allegedly.
Let's not get crazy. That's our president.
No, it's a
Yeah.
fact.
No, well, that's all. Everyone is. Oh, Trump is gonna release all the free energy tech. Yeah, it
Yeah, I know.
didn't happen first time.
Great Deadpoolio for 2. I'm a legal alien, Latinx. You are. And he also told me he would baptize me in the Mormon way after I die. So I will be having my own planet. Or, well, not really, but he said he would give me the equivalent of like admin powers. Yeah, no, it's cool.
What's
It's cool. I don't know what's on that planet. I think it's going to be empty, which is going to be a little boring, but I'll be able to do whatever I want.
It's gonna be good food.
Yeah. It's going to be like being stuck on an elevator. Well, I'll have to establish my corner by, doing things. Anyway. Thanks.
What does a Mormon pyramid look like? A bunch of MREs stacked on top of each other?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him. The planet won't be empty. Thank you. Good. It would be real boring otherwise. Will it be filled with aliens?
Will there be VR headsets in heaven?
Well,
You won't need them in
that's
heaven.
a good question. You won't need them in heaven. I know. Maritime,
No seximatron then?
not aliens, but we could mention the fact that there are straight up maritime rules on who to eat, when to eat them, how to eat them, and the rules for disposing the body.
Gooch
Yeah.
is first,
No.
obviously, on the panel.
We would have
A1
to draw
yay or
straws.
nay?
You think I'm going to be the first one to die? That's hilarious.
Oh my God. This is a hate crime.
ABF.
Yeah.
This is
Blair hit
ridiculous.
LGBT ABF. This is the fucking hate crime, right? We
Well,
just
no,
witnessed.
it says was gifted, so it was a pleasant thing. There was no assault.
Nah, he hit him with the membership. It was
He probed
violence.
him.
But thank you.
He probed him.
No.
It's LGBTQA.
Well, that's how we start. We start with 1 finger at a time, and then 5.
I think
I'll
on
give
this
you the
stream, it's
option.
going to be probing instead of gifting.
Until morale improves.
Therefore,
I mean, everything's done very politely, though. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
highly polite.
Until you
In
get
the
to Gooch and
probing.
Irwin.
We always
I
ask.
say thank you.
So, what episode are we delving into the Anunnaki and the human intellect design theory? Yeah, that when Sumerian, all of it. The reason I wanted to start, I know. Look, did you see? Did it move a little bit? Well, you're a woman, so it would contract, right, Leon?
See, it doesn't contract. It gets moist. I don't know what you feel.
I keep telling him he doesn't get an anatomy.
Confirmed.
His ovaries bounced.
I feel a little bit in my mouth, even though I'm the one that made the joke. I'm sorry. You can start a lot of different places. And yeah, we'll definitely talk about that one of the episodes. The reason I wanted to start with Barb Lazar is he's one of the most prominent and he's one of the most long-lived. He's the most consistent. And oh my God, speaking of the most consistent, my brother.
Oh,
he's alive.
They're selling from down under.
I love it.
My computer's dead. I'm using my laptop. I may need to leave in like, I might need to leave in like an hour to pick it back up from the computer
it's
store.
only going to be an hour,
close.
so
yeah.
The computer store.
What
the hell did you download?
You all right, bro? What happened?
My computer, it just, I don't know, it just shut down. The fan stopped working, and every time I tried to turn it back on, it would just shut down like after 2 seconds. So,
did you try shaking it?
I did vigorously.
Well,
nothing else you could do then.
I know you played all the
That's
Alien
what I thought.
Isolation. I hope you're ready to talk about aliens.
That's what happens, Niat, when you start trying to be your own editor, apparently.
Fried
your system, man.
Editor? You have nefarious fingers control.
nefarious,
Shit.
yeah.
No, sorry. No, we're not allowed to talk about pop culture. Aliens. Even though he is an alien, so it would have been apt to talk about it. I'm just, Niat, thank you for joining us, actually. Do you, you have to be into this stuff, right? I've seen your lore videos. Aliens, ancient civilizations, the Anunnaki. What do you think?
Yeah, I while I was at in high school and university, I was fascinated with like alien conspiracy theories and Area 51. I saw the TV show Roswell, and I tried my best to figure out whether or not the American government had already made contact with aliens. And
correct.
So far, evidence is inconclusive.
Yeah, but also, yes, they did. They certainly did. Well, no, and that's the other reason. If you are into UFO lore, no matter what, the American government and the fucking Men in Black will always come back to it. And yes, now it is time to see if Rat in Black has something.
Ooh!
Oh my God!
Speaking of
That's some good
Where do we
shit.
go
We got
first?
the Jersey Devil, baby. Let's go.
The chapeau.
I went around the room and placed something I wanted in every corner.
I see the alien sticker.
Sure.
Truth is out there.
Yeah,
we're gonna find it.
You know what?
True
story. Patterson footage. I love seeing the Patterson footage there.
I never watched all of X-Files.
Sorry, check my dream.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I'm
Let's rewatch.
one of my goals is to continue on from where I started last. Otherwise, yeah. Hey, as far as all this stuff goes, I mean, ghosts and aliens are probably the top of my list for things that I can say I believe in. Otherwise, everything else, I mean, if you can believe in one, why not the other at some point until you get really obscured shit?
You got cannoli on the screen.
Obviously, dragons are real. Yeah.
Well, they have to be.
Ghostbusters. Yeah, Roswell, which I can talk about. I love that show.
Should Cocoon be on the list?
Yeah, it's aliens ish.
It's alien related.
What's better, Cocoon or Contact?
Ooh, Contact is an interesting
I
one.
like
though.
Contact more myself.
Ones.
Because it's got that ending that I really like. It's interesting.
I like
makes
Contact.
makes you think.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Communion. Well, Communion.
What was the one with Charlie Sheen?
We could switch them up. Arrival, but the original Arrival, not the Denis Villeneuve Arrival.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
The original Rival that had Charlie Sheen in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen, right? No,
Yeah, it's like an invasion movie.
Yeah, they were like Southern America. No,
not the other aliens, but yeah, they were from Southern America.
Yeah. Okay.
No, there's a lot of places you could start. The reason I wanted to start with Bob, like I said, he's the most prolific, he's the most consistent, and the shit that he said back in the 80s about the hand scanners used and the Element 115, which at the time didn't exist and has now been proven, and the gravitic drives, which he'll all of that has panned out, including like the Go Fast and the Gimbal videos, which we'll show. But yeah, I thought we would start with Bob Lazar explaining this on one of his many times he went on Joe Rogan. You ready? You ready? Because chat looks very excited. 75 of you watching. Should have liked, sharing, to everyone here. All right.
But for people who don't know the story, let's give them the bullet points. You used to work at Area 51. In Area 51, God, you went like, huh?
Well, we want to be accurate.
Okay.
Area S4.
So yeah, that's the first stipulation. Is you will always correct people and say that it wasn't Area 51 proper; it was Area S4.
Oh,
S4. Okay,
It's about 15 miles south of Area 51.
okay. You worked in how would you describe it?
I guess within the Area 51 compound, you can call that a subset of Area 51.
And you got that job. Before that, you were working.
Before that, I had worked at Los Alamos
Right.
National Labs in New Mexico.
And you were involved in what kind of work?
Nuclear weapon development, physics. I mean, they do everything there.
So how do they approach you to say, hey, Bob, why don't you come on out to the Nevada desert?
So real quick, Eric Weinstein and others, like the physicists and all that, they'll basically tell you that like our understanding of science has more or less sort of stopped and petered out. And his reasoning to that is the smart dudes that would make it go beyond get poached before they enter any sort of academia or before they enter any sort of prominence, and they get worked on these type of programs to backward engineer things. And this is
disruptive technologies. Like we know, like there's classified technologies that are considered disruptive technologies. And yeah, if they free us from like the people who control the energy and stuff like that, it's disruptive and we can't have it.
And so they either get Epstein or they get co-opted or, some variation.
Open AI.
And when you find out,
still alive?
He is indeed. And it's one of those, he acted very decisively to make sure he was too big to be suicided, essentially.
I don't know that, I don't know. I think Bob Lazar is a government plant because you got people like Phil Schneider that have been knocked off, died under mysterious circumstances. I think that Bob Lazar is still in the game and he's effectively a psyop in and of himself. Because there's a lot of these
psyop, man.
Jimmy,
everything's a psyop. Man.
Joe Rogan's a psyop. Alex Jones is a psyop.
Well, he talks a little bit about what he was doing that got their attention. Oh, you son of a bitch! When it goes to
why
does it fucking? Remember when Twitter used to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. You do this once and then skip ahead a little bit. Okay.
Los Alamos man, physicist at the lab, built this 200 mile an hour, Honda jet car that I drove to work every day. So
put a jet engine in the back
I was
of this
known in
car.
Los Alamos, the guy with the weird car, and you could hear it from a mile away. Anyway, the day that came out on the front page of the paper was the day Edward Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb, was giving a lecture down there at the lab. And we didn't have much going on that day in our group. And I asked if I could go down there. And I went down there early, and Ed Teller was outside leaning on a brick wall there and reading the front page of the paper. Now, this is a guy out of history. So I introduced myself. Hey, I'm the guy you're reading about there. And we talked for a little while, and it was cool. Fast forward to years later, I had moved out to Las Vegas and had, left Los Alamos and, went on to other things. And I wanted to get back into the scientific community. I left to start other businesses and that sort of thing. So I sent resumes out, and one of them went out to Ed Teller and referenced our meeting, back in the day. And anyway, he remembered me and gave me a reference, somebody to contact at EG&G. And that's pretty much how it started.
So you get a phone call or a letter? Like, what do you get?
Well, I got what did I get? I got a letter initially and went down for an interview probably a couple times. And it was down at EG&G Special Projects, which was at McCarran Airport at that time out in Las Vegas.
And did they give you any sort of job description of what you were applying for?
McCarran Airport, those that know, is a real thing. It's the private government owned American government owned airport that actually flies employees in and out of Area 51. You can watch the flight tracking on the internet. You can watch any and all flight tracking on the internet because it's all public. However, flights coming out of McNairan, after they
I
hit
mean, McCarran is the fucking airport in Vegas, but
right,
there's
specific black log flights that come up there. If you try and
you can see them. Yeah, they're
flight,
red planes.
See the hard cut when they're no longer being tracked, when the public can't track them.
Oh yeah, I've seen those on flight radar. It shows the aircraft, but it doesn't have any information available.
No. Once it hits a certain point headed towards Area 51, the aircraft is no longer even visible.
But just general traffic around it, you can still see it, and then it just disappears.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Because they just
What's
fly into work basically.
How big of an area are we talking about, Leon? Like, what's the square mileage?
I think it gets when they get like 50 or 60 miles out from the airport, or maybe as much as 100. I have to relook at the numbers, but somewhere between like 50 or 60 miles, if I recall.
Yeah, this is just Bob Lazar. If we ever do one on like S4 and Area 51 proper, but it's a significant part of the Nevada desert, like out there by the salt flats and shit. And,
really? So if you're flying over that, you disappear for like how?
No.
Specifically these flights.
Yeah. They load up an airplane full of brainiacs and then fly
commercial
there
airlines
every single day. Yeah.
Don't fly over it. Don't fly over it.
They said it was for I can't remember exactly what they did. This was a long time ago, but I think it was advanced propulsion or something like that. Something relatively generic. And they said it's in a remote area. It's going to be some days on, some days off. And, it was kind of not exactly a full-time job, but you might have to be out there for 2 weeks at a time and take 2 weeks off. So it was kind of the work schedule would be kind of broken up.
And did this seem attractive to you, or did it seem weird?
No, it really wasn't weird, because people that work at the test site, anybody that's familiar with the area up there, working at the nuclear test site or at the Tonopah test range north of there, that's typically how things go.
So you had known about it from the scientific community? Because Area 51 at that time was
no, they didn't say anything about Area 51.
Okay, so
they just said it was in a remote location, and you just know it was up at the test site.
Right.
So, but there was no mention of Area 51 at that time.
So they've done hundreds of nuclear tests in Nevada. That whole area there's giant chunks of Nevada that people.
Yeah, there's a big piece of Nevada, and it's split up into different areas. There's a nuclear test site. There's Area 51. There's the Tonopah test range north of that. There's little sub areas. There's areas where they test chemical weapons and things like that. So it's all broken up as a gigantic test area.
So take me back to first day on the job. You accept a job. They take you out there.
Yeah, it's the first day, really, I didn't really get to see a whole lot. The first day was essentially just paperwork. That's when I flew into Area 51 proper. And I left McCarran Airport and flew what they call the Janet flights.
And that's those flights we were talking about. And he talks about going there. And ostensibly, he ends up working in a very compartmentalized group, studying one of at least 7. He doesn't want to call them UFOs at the time, but reclaimed craft, blah, 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 to try to backward engineer. He only has access to certain parts of it. He talks a little bit about where they got some of them, specifically it being an archaeological find, which is the most fun one to me. And you also hear about that Grush guy that they're called donations. In that community. In other words, like, why would these motherfuckers that are so advanced, why would they lose ships like that? And it's like, well, maybe they don't reclaim them on purpose. It's like throwing a monkey a cell phone. But like, go ahead, see what you can do with it.
Ever asked anyone that has any inkling of any idea of where they got them or how they got them?
No, but something must have been said to me from Barry. But it was just too long ago, and I can't quite remember what was said, but it just left a seed in my mind. I think at least one of them was part of an archaeological dig. So it's old. At least one of them is old. I don't know if it was the one I worked on, but I remember something to do with an archaeological dig.
Whoa.
So that means it's not just old, it's ancient.
That'd be a great Steven Spielberg movie.
So some of them are old. Some of them are crashed.
Also,
Some
one of the
shot down.
theories for why they crash is that because they're attuned, basically the way that flying saucers, UFOs, whatever work, have to do with magnets, and so if it's not properly calibrated when you enter the magnetosphere, it'll actually fuck up the calibration and cause the ships to crash. Who knows if that's true? But that's the theory.
Magnetic polarity of the hull. I've seen the.
We shoot him with the 5G lasers, and it knocks him out.
He goes on to say that while he was there, one of the hangar doors was left over and open one day, and he saw essentially just like a flying saucer with an American flag on it, and he went, "Oh, they're ours." Which, yeah, some of them are. We've the stealth bomber and all that. They're ABF. What do you think? Do you think we have successfully made UFOs that fly around and more or less mimic what the actual craft is, but they're just ours? They're a X-23 Gould glider, but we slapped an American flag on it,
Well, I mean, I do think that they've tried to make saucer style, craft and tried to make them fly at Area 51. Now, did they do that on purpose because they were just mimicking the real thing just to throw everybody off,
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Yeah. They've been experimenting with levitation and stuff like that with those kind of saucer
gravitic drives.
craft.
Everyone knows gravitic drives. Moxie, you know about the gravitic drives.
I've mentioned this on other streams before, but my aunt retired from Edwards Air Force Base. She was the top secret midnight flight scheduler for top secret projects. And she basically said, if you've thought of it, if you can think of it, if you've thought of it, they've already made it, but I can't tell you about it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I had an uncle who would say that fun little joke. He used to work for the U.S. Navy, like in radar and other intelligence or whatever. And you never know if someone's just playing up they're more in port than they were. But he was like, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. One of those fun jokes. But I don't think he was kidding.
She wasn't joking.
Yeah, well.
My grandfather was
funny anyway.
Yeah, no, my grandfather was special forces in Nam, pretty high up ranking military, and he claims, I've got no reason to doubt, because my grandfather doesn't joke. He's a very serious guy, and claims that he was at Area 51, says there's nothing alien related there whatsoever. That it's just very advanced flight craft work. But by the same token, he could not legally tell me more than that. He even all these years, 30, 40 years later, it was like he could be charged with treason for doing so. So don't know.
Well, one of the reasons I think it's important is because when you hear gravitic drives and all of that, his explanation of element 115, which we'll talk about in a minute, and how the ships use it to produce gravity and aim it and essentially fall away at incredible speeds. Really super interesting. And also it bears in line with all of the leaked videos that we ended up getting in the early 2000s. Shockingly, once the U.S. Navy upgraded its aircrafts with the newest top of the line radar detectors and shit like that, all of a sudden they started seeing things that weren't there before. But Bob talks a little bit about how the reactor works and how gravity propulsion works inside of the vessel that he was able to work on. Go ahead, and if you need me to pause it, just put your hand up or whatever, and I will. Come on, Bobby.
Mercury. Is it Mercury?
Jesus Christ.
That was what I had my hands on. There was talk of weapon systems, that there were different projects. Project Galileo, Project Sidekick was supposed to be weapon applications of the craft. Project Looking Glass had to do with time, any effects of time in the craft. Now, I don't think we're not talking about making a time machine like in science fiction, but we're talking about, small distortions, intentional distortions of time, and how that can be used, as a not as a, well, it was part of a weapon program.
How are you informed in this?
These again were just the small briefings that I read, but again, I don't really.
By the way, not for nothing, this is when it starts getting beyond my ability of a human to fucking understand shit, like time and time dilation based on gravity, and like the farther out that whole shit. Planet of the Apes basically, they go away, and for them it's 70 years, and for us 1,000, 100,000.
Well, Project Looking Glass is an actual military project. Majority of the files for it have actually been declassified. It's a several thousand page document, if I recall, and it's basically was something that You could use mirrors and concave mirrors and astral projection to effectively send your consciousness through time while your body stays here. It sounds super hokey and whatnot, but it is something the U.S.
We're in a
government
fucking
actually did.
simulation, so all this shit is digital code anyway. It's fine. It's way more understandable than that. Sorry,
They
string
sunk
theory.
hundreds of thousands of dollars of research into Project Looking Glass, and it's again, I mean, you can find the files online. They're wild.
Yeah, you know a bunch of lore about a bunch of sci-fi. Does that help you at all wrap your head around any of this?
No, science fiction. While some of it tends to be based on actual science, a lot of it is just gobbledygook. You know, it's just people making up terms and stuff. But yeah, no, all of this is fascinating. I did watch this interview on Rogan and a few others, and yeah, if I was ever to believe that somebody worked on an alien spacecraft, it would definitely be Bob Lazar.
Yeah, 100%.
I like to talk about those because I don't have any information on him, and it was just small briefings.
But you told Commander Fravor that what he saw might have been a time dilation, and not
it could be because
Yeah.
gravity affects time. Space time. I'm sure you've heard of that, and what Commander Fravor saw as he was in the F-18 approaching it, he said he described it as a ping pong ball in a cup and shaking it back and forth. It was moving that fast. Now, obviously, if there's anything inside there, it's going to be battered to hell. But, my point was that, well, one of two things. Either there's a gravitational envelope in there which negates any inertia effects, or you are seeing through a gravity distortion field. So, just like you're looking at a hot highway and you see, an optical distortion going through there. Well, the same thing happens in gravity, and the craft may not actually be moving like that. It may just look like it because you can only see it through the field. So it may be making much more gentle moves. I'm not saying that's it, but it has to be one of the two.
Also, we keep assuming that there's biologic in them. One thing we're seeing with our own drone technology is it might just be way easier to fucking make a ship filled with drones that can control it, that it doesn't matter about inertial dampeners or traveling or space radiation, or the ships themselves appear to be 3D printed. No seams, just smooth.
Yeah, a lot of abductees will say that they'll see the UFOs and no one else is able to see them. So it's like some of them almost seem like out of phase with the dimension or the physical reality, or however you want to phrase it.
Reminds me of Flight of the Navigator.
I love that movie.
That little
I
crater.
love that fucking movie. Yeah, and in the time, and so he puts him back. It's such a good movie. Put that on the list, or just in case it's not on the list.
Time dilation is
Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah.
It's a kid movie, Disney movie in the 90s. Sarah Jessica Parker, I think, one of the first roles I saw her in.
The sister,
no, she works at the military base where he's. Anyway, kid gets abducted by aliens, and then it's good. It's good. Alien.
Is that the one where only he can pilot the ship because he's got like
Pee Wee Herman is the robot? I just realized. Yeah, Paul Rubin. Yeah, he can. It's good.
Yeah, it's like a chrome ship, but time dilation is a very real thing, and they've actually proven it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why it's.
That's like some Einstein shit, right?
Mm-hmm. They've done experiments where they put like an atomic clock on the space shuttle, and then an atomic clock at in Houston, and they'll send the shuttle out that goes like 25-something thousand miles an hour, and then when it comes down to Earth again, the clocks are actually different because they were going faster. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's space-time and time-space, and gravity is definitely somehow involved with that.
The one that messes with me is
one and the same.
Prove that, and 100%. And they've proven basically like Schrodinger's reality, but like reality literally doesn't happen until you look at it.
Collapse the wave function.
Where they shoot the laser beam through
the double slit,
And Schrodinger was fucking trolling effectively when he came up with that theory, and it turned out to be true. Like that's
because and then like Rogan, he's like, no, but like clearly one of the realities has happened. We just don't know, and they're like, no, it literally hasn't happened until we look at it. That fucks with you because that is how video games work.
Mm-hmm.
The code doesn't until you look at it. It doesn't because to serve preserve processing power.
Resources. So like, and that's why you've got. I mean, when scientists use these advanced telescopes to look way off into the distance, it's almost as if they catch glimpses of rendering, of like a game rendering.
Yeah. That's
part of the difficulty with understanding these concepts is that we're limited to our own perspective, and we don't have the ability to see things clearly unless you understand advanced mathematics and have the instrumentation to be able to see these things. Because
you've seen us try to
the
Earth
Earth is
super chats. I don't have advanced mathematics yet.
Because the Earth is moving at like 18 miles per second, right? So if you drop like a golf ball or a tennis ball and it bounces back up, it's technically not in the same spot when it bounces back up, but we're not able to perceive that. So it sort of blows your mind that we're actually quite limited in what it is that we can see and how the universe works.
Rogan,
and the fact that we can only use a small portion of our brain power makes me wonder if like some version of our abilities would have been able to do some of these things, see them, whatever. But
I've always heard that was a, what do you call it, like a falsehood, that we do use all of our brain. We just use it all at different times.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
we use 100% of our brain, but we can only use so much at a time.
Right, but if I was able to overclock it, I'd have fucking superpowers, right?
Bingo,
Like
bango,
Lucy?
bongo. Yeah,
Like
one
Lucy,
human
yes.
brain- Yeah, the
but
power output equates to one human brain running at max capacity could power the city of New York for 10 years.
Yeah, I've seen The Matrix. I know they said body heat originally was supposed to be the electricity in the brain reaction, but they were like, no, let's just say it's body heat, even though that's less superior. Well, power, right? He went on, Bob, to talk about the ships, and they produce gravity, and the way they do that is in something called element 115, something that when he talked about it in the 80s, it did not exist. We've since made a version of it, which they call it something else, and he talked
Moscovian, isn't
it? He calls it something else, unobtainium or something. Here, it's right here. It's just 58 seconds, a little bit more impressive than 38 seconds.
It's element 115. Element 115 is a super heavy element. It's something that we only just recently synthesized. We only made 4 atoms of it, but the craft uses larger quantities of it, 223 gram little triangles of it. But it's a unique element. When it's exposed to radiation, it produces its own gravitational field, its own anti-gravitational field, and it's what's used to lift and propel the craft and create distortions around it. It's an amazing material, and it's certainly nothing that occurs here or naturally.
And it can be weaponized, and that's kind of the issue here. If this story is all true, that can be weaponized.
Absolutely. Never miss.
Okay, I'm breaking silence with this. Theories on how to weaponize? How do
Gravity
you turn...
bomb?
So you're shooting gravity shots now?
No, you played Mass Effect?
You play
Yeah.
Mass Effect? Jesus.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, like that's Mass Effect's just
ABF
fancy
turns
gravity
around and
manipulation anyway.
gestures to the wall.
Yeah, gravity bombs, literally.
Yeah.
And
could you imagine
an implosion bomb like in the middle of a major city?
Fucking Man of Steel. That is essentially what their terraforming device was. Something that slams gravity. It just flattens everything. Yeah, that would be terrifying.
It's fucking wild.
But then
I just
again,
want flying cars, bro.
All aliens would have to do is do what we could do right now and throw fucking like titanium spheres down, and they would hit with the equivalent of nukes anyway. And there'd be no like
the rod of God. Like the big,
basically, it's like
rods
there's so many
from God. Yeah,
so many easy ways.
It's a tungsten rod.
A tungsten rod. Tungsten.
Yeah.
I just like saying tungsten.
Sure.
Uranium
It's like
depleted
chrysanthemum.
tungsten round. It could be.
But is it aluminum or aluminium?
Well, if you're fancy, it's aluminium.
Bingo.
Bingo, bango.
I don't think you have to be fancy. You just have to be British.
No,
You just have to be correct.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Just
Yeah, I
not
was saying-
American.
Oh, so yeah, aluminium's Gooch. Do you aluminium?
I say aluminum, but
I
I
always have
respect
a
them.
Gucci-namium.
I've been training myself to say aluminium ever since I was corrected on the spelling in a live stream. Like one of my chatters from the UK was like, "Look at how it's spelled." And I was like, "Oh fuck, it is aluminium."
We're lazy. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We don't eat beans
You're
and
the
toast,
boss,
though.
you know. We can say however the fuck we want. America, baby. What am I doing my voiceover for you? You know.
A couple years from now, probably.
Son of a bitch.
You're
You're,
just trying-
never
you're
going to
try-
do that Rambo documentary.
You're trying to get another IMDb credit. I know.
Oh, actually, I am. You're right. Well, element 115 is explained in a little bit more detail right here since they have been able to make it.
Boone University.
Thank you,
Sweden,
ancient aliens.
August 27th, 2013. Researchers confirm the existence of a new element on the periodic table created through nuclear fusion. They name it unpentium, or element 115. Although most scientists still don't know much about this unique radioactive component, it shares commonalities with plutonium used in experimental rocket fuels.
Element 115 has its own lore in
Legalized
UFO
plutonium.
history. So this was said to be an
1.21 gigawatts.
gentleman named Lazar, who claimed to have worked just south of Area 51.
It's not Stephen King, don't
on
worry.
An ET flying saucer.
The government is holding 9 alien spacecraft that are propelled by a modified gravity generator. Work is being conducted 15 miles south of Groom Lake at that isolated area only, designated as S4. That at least one of those crafts operate.
How dare you?
According to what Lazar said, the craft ran on element 115.
We're doing Alien Hour Nod.
There's no evidence
Nad.
that we have this even occurring naturally anywhere on Earth. Well, it turns out that scientists now claim to have created element 115 by atomic collisions.
Because that sounds safe.
I think this recent discovery of unpentium really does help us understand the significance of Bob Lazar's testimony. This was a man who was exposed to a very rare element that was allegedly part of the propulsion system of an extraterrestrial vehicle.
I'm with Leon. He's a plant.
You
On
think?
December 23rd, 2015, yet another groundbreaking material makes headlines.
And this is about the possible lightweight metal materials that all this shit is made of. Where you can crumple it up and it goes right back. Gooch, you want
Yes.
to travel the stars with me, buddy, when we get our UFO?
Sure.
Do some gooch salutes.
Oh no!
Gotta-
In space!
I just sometimes I just have trouble with all this. Like it's just
Oh, do we have Moxie? You might want to switch places with Gooch. Do you want to be our Dana Scully?
Are you also
poo-pooing?
poo-pooing?
Are you poo-pooing? Yes. Oh no.
No, it went out of control.
That-
It went out of control. I'm so
Not that type
sorry.
of switching. Yeah.
I meant to switch.
I didn't mean even that type of switching. Gooch, what about it? You think he's a government plant?
yeah.
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 In the 80s?
Oh yeah, highly likely.
Yeah. Highly likely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. He's going to talk about the reactor.
Team
Tell me this is-
conspiracy. Woo!
It's only 1 minute, thankfully. Yeah.
So it's the reactor here, powering the gravity amplifiers. Gravity amplifiers output goes into the gravity emitters at the bottom, and the resulting gravity beam or anti-gravity wave can be pretty much put anywhere you want to. And I had access and was permitted to view
That's only one
and look
group.
at the operation of this main level with the gravity amplifiers and the level
bullshit
gravity emitters.
Yeah.
Large black rectangular areas on the
Actually, Obi
believe
Dean
they
said something
were
very interesting.
some
He
planar
said-
sensor.
He said, if you look deeper, the alien leakers, they're still working for the government, so it's sus. There is a bit of truth to this. So back in the, I believe it was the 70s or maybe in the 60s, the government did actually have a bunch of their agents infiltrate these alien believers groups and basically put out a bunch of false information so that when it was discredited, they all look like a bunch of fools. So yeah, you can actually look into a bunch of high-profile UFO reporters and whatnot. It turned out they were government agents, but not all of them, and they were literally installed by the government to try and discredit many of these individuals. So a little bit of truth in his statement, but also it goes back further than that.
This is the you can buy these in poster form, but here's the sports model UFO of the 9 UFOs he worked on, where you have the reactor with the element 115, the pure element 115 that exists regularly on at least the aliens' home planet, apparently. On ours, you saw what they had the trouble they had to go through to synthesize even a little bit, but that's where that would go. You would bombard it with radiation that produces the gravity, and then wherever they aim that, they can essentially just fall out of gravity at super fucking high speeds. And
it looks like a 1950s coffee maker. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
like
that
No, it's an espresso maker, Gooch. Get it right.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just glad you're finally being honest about your age.
Oh.
No. Gucci's a young man. How dare you? Well,
or am I? It's a conspiracy.
Many people like Gooch poo-pooed this all until, of course, in the early 2000s, the Commander favor the Go Fast videos and the gimbal videos, which when they updated their tracking and their FLIR cameras and all that, they started catching things.
This is the government approved one, though, right?
Yep. No,
that's
this
when I
is
don't
whatever
trust
the
it.
original leak one is.
Yeah, and this is the one that the government confirmed like a year ago, right?
Yeah, it's part of the official releases that got approved eventually. But he got signal
And
lock
why-
on it.
Yeah, but why did they release it when they did? What else is going on? Like,
Well, they
look over
released
there.
first.
Alien. Leaked or leaked? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't trust them.
So, if there's one thing I know about governments, is that they like to compartmentalize information. They'll only give as little information as they need to get the people working under them to be able to get the job done. So it's highly possible that Bob Lazar was working with a group of people and was told these are, the government was probably working on developing a new spacecraft, and they just told them whatever, this is an alien spacecraft, because they knew that if he was to reveal that to anybody, nobody would believe him. As for these spacecrafts, I think they're just, I do think that they're government made, but by a specific branch of the government. So like a secret branch of the government that hasn't disclosed this vehicle to the Navy, the Air Force, which is why the pilots, when they see this, they're confused because they haven't been given this information.
Yeah, and those specifically, they were tracking. They noticed them. They were tracking them. They disappeared, and then they met them at their cap point miles. They were like waiting for them, as if. And that is a close range that they were on, like a testing range. What's the chat? What are we doing?
That's what I was
Uranus?
thinking. That's
Good grief.
probably where Leon's from.
She's a Uranus gal. Well, so that's where
Actually,
we all are.
I'm pro-Israel. I'm more of a Jew putter guy.
Well, you're apparently responsible for all the world's problems, Erwin, and it's your fault that the Arab Jedi was taken out of Skeleton Crew. Sorry about that.
Oh no!
Erwin, do you think we'll go around with what do we think about Bob Lazar? I know what Gooch is going to say, but Erwin, what do you think, more or less?
I don't know. I haven't really followed a lot of him specifically. Some stuff sounded good. Some stuff sounding. We all know that UFOs are powered by liquid mercury that you spin around and shoot microwaves up. Obviously, everyone knows that. Yeah, I don't know. All this stuff I like to follow away and interesting, and I'll keep it in mind.
Gooch, you think it's a government plant? You think it's all bullshit?
I'm kind of with Erwin on this one, and I think it's a government plan.
He started sounding a little excusey here and there.
Yeah,
memory gets a little faded at times.
Yeah, I have a hard time with this because, like, if they wanted the secret, he wouldn't be out and about. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. Out and about.
Yeah, out and about. So. I have a hard time swallowing this. So, like,
what do you not have a hard time swallowing? Sorry, it's just we're not good people. Leon, I feel like you and I are probably maybe a little bit more willing to believe, but
son of a bitch.
Yeah. No, I think that Bob Lazar absolutely. So, I think that he probably did work on these projects. That being said, I also think he is probably on government payroll because he is still alive. Again, you've got people who had very, very interesting stories like Phil Schneider that by the time he went to the press, he died of very mysterious circumstances that even his own, wife and daughter were like, no, the government killed him. Whereas Bob Lazar has managed to survive all this time. It's probably because he's got a handler being like, you can drip feed this. You can go on Joe Rogan. Here's what you can and can't say. Here's part of your cover. So maybe what he's saying, parts of it are lie or parts of it are fabricated. But I do think there is truth to what he's saying. I just don't think he's telling us the whole thing. I think it's because he's on government payroll.
And acid is a wonderful thing. Acid does crazy things. So, I mean,
as someone who has done acid multiple times, let me tell you,
I'm sure the government gave him some nice, crazy acid.
What led Bob to finally like taking people to show them the test flights, and in an effort to and try to contact the press and establish basically they fired him or they stopped calling him in, and we find out the reason is they had his phones tapped and his wife was having an affair. So knowing that he was about to be emotionally compromised, they cut him from the program without telling him what happened. And so he thought, oh, I'm about to be killed. And so he started taking people to the test flights and and then he contacted, the Vegas News. And that's where the whole thing started from, an attempt to stop himself from being killed by the government. He went very, very public.
One name, Howard
to be fair, that is more public than Phil Schneider. Than Phil Schneider ever went, because he was still speaking to basically just other UFO experts and conventions as opposed to going like true public like Lazar did. So that is a good counter.
He's like, I literally just killed somebody, and I'm not going to get any trouble for it. And then, he killed himself in his hotel room.
Moxie Dame for 10. The truth is out there. Thank you, Mom.
Hello, baby. Where's Paul? He's getting along with the Marquise of Assad, so I thought I'd come and get along with you. What do you say?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Is that all you're going to say? You're not even going to help my ego by telling me you got some weird pussy disease?
Badger.
Is that one of your new ones that you made?
Someone had fun, huh?
So crude.
Yeah, well, it's after 10 minutes. We'll be all right. We're at the end of the hour. It's 105 people watching still. Be sure to like, share, and sub. Thank you. That's fucking hilarious. Moxie, you are the Dana Scully. Government job, maybe a little truth once upon a time, but there's a reason he's not unalived.
I think he's working with him. I think they like to do this thing where they give you a little bit to think you're getting like all in the know and stuff. And it's like, no, I'm not buying it. I think this is intentional or a distraction, or it's just to satiate the people that have always hypothesized or had conspiracy theories. It just gives them enough to either keep them distracted or just like placated.
That's why I think Mike Baker goes on Joe Rogan.
Oh my God, the fucking Mike Baker. He's got he's a government plan. He says nothing of substance ever.
There's like the Fox News ufologists. Those are the dudes I'm like
take a shot every time he mentions his goddamn kids.
Glowing a bit.
Sorry, it triggered me.
What's his name? Rocco is one of them. There, does his son name Rocco or something?
Rocco, and it's like chief and like whatever the fuck it is. It's a champ, some asshole thing. Rat, what do you think about this? You government?
I honestly don't remember a lot about him, so that was kind of fresh for me. They, like everyone said, obviously they keep a lot of shit under their coat, so to speak. And more recently, they've been letting more out, but that was decades ago. So I guess people have been knowing about shit for a long time, but now it's more mainstream, I guess. I don't know. Plant, maybe.
Yeah.
Does it matter either way? You're still learning information.
I felt very edified. Garrett Grant. He hit Charlie Nuclear. Oh my God, Charlie.
Yay, Charlie.
He hit Charlie. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you very much. In fact, you know what? Thank you.
You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
Yeah,
that's a good clip. I've never seen you use that one. That's a good clip.
Yeah, we usually save it for compliments of us, but in this case, I'll reverse Uno it and give it to Grant. Well, closing out here. That's that. Niat, what you thinking? Government plant? Some truth?
I'm sort of split in the middle. I mean, it could be possible that he did come into contact with alien technology. It's also very likely that he's a government plant, or the third option, which is that he took a lot of acid in the 70s and 80s. Because when it comes to him predicting element 115, if you look at the 70s and 80s, they're up to element 105, I think, by 1970. And it was just going up incrementally. So he knew that they'd probably stumble upon element 115 eventually. I don't know if there's similarities between the element 115 he described in the 70s and 80s to the one he's talking about now. But yeah, I'm sort of on the fence.
Honestly.
Okay. Still, I'm on the fence because I think that governments are really good at keeping secrets. And if they don't want you to know something and they think that somebody's going to be a tattletale, they'll kill you. So, yeah. If he's still alive,
but what if when he was on acid and having his trip, he was contacted by the spirit realm and they like gave him all this information?
That's not how acid works, guys. God, take him the actual fan.
To Moxie's point,
you leave yourself open when you are not.
It doesn't have to be acid.
Well, I'm going to go to ABF.
Like whatever.
This is just the technological aspect of it. There's the whole DMT realm and spirit realm energy, which we will be talking about in one episode.
Yeah,
I got that
ABF,
video still.
What happens when you take acid, ABF? I think is what Badger was about to ask you.
So I don't know. I think this dude is a plant. Making a new element is a real thing, but getting up to 115, like Nia was saying, I'm sure is possible. But the ones that are on the very end of our periodic table right now have been created in a lab, but they only exist for like a fraction of a second.
On a computer screen, yeah.
Well, yeah, long enough for a scientist to name it their last name because they're the ones that did it. So,
Nadia, when we do the DMT one, you can be on and say a bunch of dumb shit that I don't know, your best friend will agree with, and we'll make fun of you about. Yeah,
I was reading about this guy earlier today, and he predicted that the 115 you could make stable wormholes and do faster than light travel with like only a few 100 pounds of the stuff. And other physicists were basically saying that that's not even a thing. It's impossible to have that much matter to be able to do that.
Yeah, but physicists are scientists, and what scientists tell us about COVID or butter or sugar for the last 50, 60 years. So trust the science ain't exactly something
round Earth.
Well, a lot of those guys those were coming from people that want to believe in them, though, is what I'm saying, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Trust the science, not the scientist.
Trust the science, not the science. Trust the science. I hate that. He ruined that phrase, the son of a bitch. There's a lot of little things that he says that ring true. He always talked about the scanners at the base that would scan the bones inside of your hand, which didn't really work public. And now we've seen that they're very fucking real and were used. And his description is exactly what they looked like. Just little things like that. If you've watched his multiple interviews that are hours long, he's pretty damn consistent. That particular interview, he had a migraine, so he was kept having to be dragged back. Does that make you laugh, Gooch? Because he's got other ones where he doesn't have a migraine.
Well, two things. First of all, yeah, technology, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. But he's a con artist. You can take things that are actually happening and put it out there. So when it happens, it's like, yeah, see, I predicted this. Like I told you guys that this is happening. And play off of that and say other things that people are going to bite on and chew and say, oh my God, this must be true because he predicted this, he said this, and it happened.
Gooch, why did you agree to be on this stream?
I've contained my rage for as long as possible, but I shall unleash my fury upon you.
Well, no, he has a good point because when he's
Oh.
talking about the bone scanner thing, like, what if that was something that was already compromised and they're like, fuck it, give it to that dude that we propped up and it's spreading all the alien stuff to give him more credit. Like, that's kind of a thing.
Speaking of spreading alien stuff, those all hit. So good job, buddy.
I don't know. I could leave. I could.
Anybody even want me?
No.
See ya.
No, good.
You
know what I mean, though, right? Like, if the basic aliens is like too much, what's your thoughts on?
I'm not one to
Bigfoot?
believe everything I get told, or like
I know.
want
Do you
to
believe
actually
any?
go-
Do you believe any of the woo woo?
Yeah. Do you believe any of the woo woo?
Like, you down with ghosts or anything?
woo-woo? Like
Ghosts.
well, I mean, there's things that I I
Do you
I
want
have
to believe?
thoughts on, yes.
Yes.
But like to believe in things, like it takes a lot for me to believe in it.
Do you believe that the best part of Rogue One was the Vader scene?
Best live action Vader.
Don't listen
He
to me, no
gooched.
Uncle Gooch. Aliens are real.
Grassy for
I was gonna
I
say-
believe in Erwin more than Lazar. Take that as you will. What were you gonna say, Niat? I'm not done with you, Gooch.
No,
You stay there and look pretty.
No, on the notion of Gooch not believing, if you've
Yeah.
seen the X-Files, the show only works because you've got Mulder and Scully, one that's a true believer,
By the
and
way,
one
correct.
that's
Erwin is.
science-based. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I feel like Scully believed a little bit. She just had to be. She needs overwhelming proof, and Mulder is too quick to believe. That's fine. I want my Gooch and my Moxie to be pulling us back because Leon and I will be full on ready. And Erwin, I feel like he's logical, but he's also very willing to believe in the.
Oh, I've got so.
There are some things I'm sure we'll talk about that I will push back on. Like
This
you
is
know,
just the
Operation
first
Montauk.
episode. 102 of you watching, by the way. Make sure to like, share, and sub. Thank you. To
I've
everyone here,
gone
especially Niat. He's
balls
criminally undersubbed.
deep in this. You know how much crap I've been promised that never ever works out and whatnot. I just listen to all these people, and a lot of them will say the same things, and there's common threads. And when you take things that people are saying now, or taking things people are saying like 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and you get those common threads, that's the sort of stuff where I'm like, all right, there's something there. Now, when we're talking about like reptilians and underground bases and whatnot, I'm like, hey, that's interesting. I'll keep it in mind. And when it comes to insider sources, oh, there's secret underground bases with alien craft.
We will be talking about it. We'll be talking about the aliens.
file
We'll
it
be talking
away.
about the Nordics, the reptilians. Oh yeah,
Oh my God,
the
tall
the
whites,
space
let's go,
battles.
baby, tall whites.
We're gonna
Yeah.
be doing all of it, but this is just a tease. I'm edging all of you. This is just the first episode. If you
Sounds
want
great.
more,
Well, I was gonna say, like, maybe
we'll
you
do
could
more.
poll the audience. You could come up with a couple of topics like that, throw a poll up, and then or you have the social area on YouTube. You could do something there and let people comment.
Beam me up, Badger. We'll continue.
For example, guys, tell him you want to do this more than once a month. Once a month is not going to be enough.
I was gonna say the
Okay.
This is a monthly show?
Here's the thing. It was gonna be just once a month. Erwin, you don't have to do it every episode. I know you've got your own extra. Same with Gooch. Not the Cabal does not. I will do it solo if I have to.
That's
or it
the
looks
other
like
thing
Leon
I was
and I
gonna
might be
say.
doing it.
Some people might be better at certain topics.
This is fine. So this is just the opening. You're not all handcuffed, or you are always all welcome. Moxie, no, you have to come. Leon, you seem the most apt to do this every Thursday. So chat, if you guys are into this shit, there's no shortage of topics. Either way, I thought this was a pretty good, successful.
Only Thursday I wouldn't be able to do is when me and Foxy Moxie do our own thing.
Of course. In which case, there you go.
That crime of the month.
sorry,
Do not interfere with that crime of the month.
priority. Well, I wanted yes, that crime of the month. Point is,
Actually,
pretty gal takes
crime
priority.
of the month would be
Once a
starting
month.
about now. So
Yeah,
It would be.
So there you go. We'll go for two. Go for two. Turn the frogs gay. Either way, I need all the skeptics. Yep. All
that is
right.
not what he said, Jay Goodwin.
I saw it.
But Erwin, I love that
Not
chapeau you got going on.
Pre-F&T, like and subscribe.
Thank you. That well, pre F&T and then pre F&T.
Free FNT, like and subscribe.
Lawsuit pending. Gooch, you have a frown. I want you to turn upside down, buddy. Come on.
I'm good.
You're good. Don't be pouty, Gooch.
Nope, I'm good.
He seems so sad. That's why I
Erwin.
asked. That's why I
He's
asked
sad.
if he agreed to it.
Erwin.
We have an
seems so
angry
sad.
gooch. No one should have an angry gooch.
I don't want to make
You
Gooch
upset
sad.
him by
I'm
asking
good.
why he was
I'm
here.
good. I'm good.
Honey, what's wrong?
I'm good. I'm good.
Because
Oh,
we
see, I
fell
think
for
I'm gonna
all
get
the
yelled at.
demons'
Oh, man.
lies.
The way he's saying I'm good, I don't think he's good, you guys.
I don't think he's good, ABF.
It's
It's like when
good.
I asked permission to go and he said it was all right. I don't think it's all right. I think I'm to get in trouble if I go.
It's a trap.
Look how tense he is right now.
You know,
He definitely wants to do this every week.
oh, he has to. He has to. Leon, do you think Gooch is all right?
I think that Gooch is a complicated man, and us trying to psychoanalyze him in the last few minutes of the show does not behoove him as a streamer.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the more
What
we ask,
behooves you?
the more
Yeah.
not great. Yeah.
Sorry, Hondo.
Which is great.
I think he's Manscaped. That's the answer.
I hope so.
Manscaped in the name.
He can do his land acknowledgement if he wants. He's trying not to laugh. Should probably say something about boofing. Yeah, thank you. I love you.
Also,
Erwin Zibbit.
I'm watching The
say
Wolf of Wall Street. They're literally he's boofing coke into
He's laughing though. He's covered. Leon, you seem very apt to do this twice a month. Twice a month. All right.
Twice a month. I'm down. Let's do it.
All right. I'm happy with that. So,
On the 1st and the 15th.
There you go, baby. Just like rent. Not really, because you shouldn't have to pay rent twice.
That wasn't the joke.
I know, whatever. Moxie.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. How are you? Tomorrow, right? You got a brand new show?
Yeah, it's just gonna be me, solo show. I haven't done one of those in a while, so it'll be the pre F&T lawsuit pending. Leading up, I'm the head of the human centipede of the cabal.
That's where you want to be.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah.
The Gujanese.
Oh fuck! I'm at the very end. I'm getting like quadruple shit. Like
that T-shirt would sell out so goddamn quickly.
Oh no!
Just saying. The
The Cabalipede
T-shirt.
The Cabalipede.
I'm just saying that we'll get the little stuffies that all link together with Velcro.
I mean, are we all consenting now? Because someone's going to start making something somewhere.
If you design it, it will.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, I heard it too. Mr. Tech Rat, thank you. You had a beautiful cork board tonight, and thank you, Cocoon Counts.
It counts.
You have fun. You'll be back, right?
I'm
Talk
always
about all the
coming
aliens
around,
and
man.
shit.
I'm not going anywhere.
Shout out. Niat, thank you for coming by, even though you killed your computer playing Alien Isolation.
Happy to be here. Dude, I just got a message from the computer guys. Just like, yeah, we just replaced the power and the fans, and looks like it's good to go. So
You did blow it out.
I did, yeah.
Someone in chat, yeah. The one person I saw in
It was
chat who gave
Deadpoolio.
advice said
PSU.
power supply. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows a
but
few
yeah, thanks
things.
for
That's
having
one of
me.
them.
You're welcome, buddy. ABF, and thank you for coming. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no,
ABF,
this was fun.
Thank you for coming.
One of the ideas I had, you showed all those different alien factions, if you will, is you should turn it into a game and let chat decide which one of us belong in each one of those factions.
Nordic. I'm the
Absolutely,
whitest,
yeah.
right?
In the next one, that
There's
was
no way you're
teasing.
whiter than me.
In the next episode of Beaming Up Badger, whoever decides to join us, hopefully Gooch is one of them, we'll be going over the known, and by known, the most commonly talked about alien races, from the Zeta Greys to the reptilians, the tall whites, the tall whites.
Not the ones who helped the Nazis. I'm down with the
No.
cool tall whites. Okay.
The real cool Viking ones or whatever. Thank you though. Really appreciate you all. You guys. I know words.
Really quick though, I'm gonna be on Project Egg Roll tomorrow.
Yes. So he'll be missing from Badgered In because for some reason Egg Roll decided to change from streaming Saturdays to Fridays. Good for them though. I do like Phil and Project Egg Roll.
We'll have to rough them up in an alley, but yeah. Other than that, great guys.
So I'll be over there cooming.
Put on blackface first.
That'll be fun too. Yeah, make sure to do very racist. Make sure to do very racist accent.
You gotta throw up the
Our
cabal sign.
heart goes out to Project Egg.
Our heart goes out to all of you.
Get out! Is it something I said? You've ruined my life! You've ruined my career! You've ruined my book! You've turned a perfectly peaceful house into an insane asylum! Get out!
Daddy! My God, Leo, what's gotten into you?
It was a disaster, Faye!
No, it wasn't. You were wonderful, sweetie. Fine, Dad. Yeah. Why'd you need to kick Bob out of the house?
You think he's gone? He's not gone! That's the whole point! He's never gone!
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
I'll say it.